Hello and welcome to Decorate It. My name is Mary and this is Wes, and tonight is episode 21.
We're going to talk about some decals.
So tonight we're actually talking about Waterslide decals, and not the ones that are the specs that we put on the rods that come with the rods a lot of times. These are ones that people are actually making and putting on their rods. I learned of them by the photos that people were sticking on them and was trying to figure out how they were getting a photograph on a rod. That's how I was seeing it. But there's a multitude of different ways to use the water slide. What is it? The paper, the little decal paper.
There's water slide decals that kind of originally started with RC cars and that type of thing, where you would put logos and letters and things. There's also ways that you can print your own decals with, I can't remember the exact label maker that does it.
Well, a lot of people are using their inkjets. To do it.
But there's a dedicated, I can't remember the name of it.
One of the...
He was at the show one time.
I do know that later on in the episode, it was a Sharon. She was using... Where is it? I had to take a bunch of notes tonight so that I wouldn't get anything messed up.
It's
LRT label
LRT.
maker.
That's it. That one will do it. Inkjet printers will do it. Decal Connection will do it. Because that's all they do. Mudhole has the option to do custom labels and different stickers and decals and things like that, which they have a whole graphic shop that I had no idea about, but that's another episode. There's multitudes of ways to do it and use it in rod building and still have it customized for the rod.
And it's not necessarily I'd call simpler, because you got to go through a lot of testing to make sure that you get it right the first time, or the third or fifth time. But Jim Treleake's was saying that Bill Havens from Salty Dog Custom Rods was actually who taught him, so that's how he started doing all of his
photo versions and all.
For the photo wraps that he was doing. So he actually calls them SDPWs, which stands for Salty Dog Photo Wraps, because that's how he learned how to do them. So he wanted, he put that note in the little forum about, that's how I learned from him. So I can't really take credit about it. He taught it. And then later on, somebody mentions that there's actually an online tutorial that Bill Havens does, and it used to be in Rodcrafter back in the day. So
you mean the ones that we have up there?
Yes, we need to start divvying those out.
We need to get with Wade and have them all digitally annexed so that everybody has access to them easily.
I know we took those 100 and something books in.
It's from 1975 to, I want to say, almost.
It was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, early 90s.
We have all that
material.
Before
it went to full magazine form, it was still
the little itty-bitty books.
All the little small copies, the journals size.
So we were supposed to pass those out, and then we never got a chance because we didn't have as many gatherings as we were going to. Anyways, we'll have to get with them.
We wanted to keep them all as a set and let other people
that's the other
read
thing,
them.
because the shipping on that large of a set is kind of expensive nowadays, especially now. So I'd have to hand them to somebody and be like, here you go. Here is all of the history right here. I personally haven't worked with water slides. I've never actually tried to do them. From the sounds of it, from the things that I've seen, it does sound pretty straightforward. You do have to get, obviously, water slide material, like the paper that you can print on. There's clear, and there's also a white. If you're using your printer, you can't print with white. So, obviously, you have to kind of tweak your images a little bit to know that you're printing on white, or you're printing on clear, and you're going to see the white underneath of it. A lot of people were recommending to have some sort of white background for the image to go on so that it would stand out the best. I think Michael Ward mentioned that silver was sometimes acceptable, but you would also have a tendency for it to get a little bit darker sometimes. So it's going to be one of those, you're going to have to play around with it and just see how it does. The other thing is, once you do print it out, you actually have to spray it with 2 coats of a clear top coat. You have to let it dry, and I believe most of them were saying they did it one time, would let it dry, and then come back and do it the second day, let it dry, and now it's stiff, right, because it's got that top coat on it. So now you got to cut it out and submerge it in water until it becomes pliable, and that's whenever you can put it on the rod.
It's like an activator spray.
Yeah, well, they kept calling it a clear top coat. I'm assuming when you get on, because I think it was Michael Ward again, he said he got his stuff at Amazon. I'm assuming they're going to have a bundle, or going to recommend
we'll find
the product.
It and add it to the Amazon list that we have running.
Yeah, because we have a running Amazon list in Southern right now. I need to put that actually on the business page on the Decorative Studio.
But we'll find it and add it to it.
Anyway, so since we actually don't have any experience with it, we love to look at them. I really love to see personal photos put on rods, and some of these graphics they have nowadays, like, just stellar. But the Southern Rod Builders contributed their work again tonight. We have tons of photos to look through. And
How many?
I don't know the actual total count, but I know that right as I thought I ended, I had another 20 photos that had to get put in. So there's at least 60, 70, maybe a little bit more than that.
So we're going a little bit quicker on these.
A little bit quicker on these, but there's also some ones that need a little bit of explanation behind them too. So we'll take a look at what Southern did. So we're going to start off with Brian Ward. So Brian, you can also print, like, take logos or type into stuff and print this stuff out on the Waterslide decals as well. This one is, it's saying C shift, and I'm assuming that's probably somebody's boat or something of that nature.
Could be anything.
Could be anything. I don't know. But just, nicely done. You can add this, obviously, in a section that has white thread underneath of it, so it pops the best. His blank was white, so it worked out perfectly for him. And then this one is Chase's. So that's for the Boston Red Sox. So you just took the...
Sorry, I had to.
Personal opinions to yourself. But they had to take it, and once again, you see there's a white section here. So if they're printing it on the transparent or the clear, then the white background is what's coming up. But the Boston Red Sox words are white, so whenever you go to put it on there, you wouldn't be able to see those words until you stuck it on there. Chris Stanton printed out a really cool looking shark graphic to put on his handle. And that's the other great thing about these. They can go anywhere. They can go on handles, they can go on butt caps, they can go on guides, they can go
you can
on
put
the
them
rod.
on real seats, anything.
Real seats, they weigh nothing. So
all the weight.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
gonna add all the weight.
Oh, we have a total of 96 photos tonight. Darwin Wong, so he actually put in a couple things that he wanted to just mention. He loves doing these because he can print tiny details to place anywhere: butt caps, guide wraps, real seats, rods, etc. And this is an example in the butt cap where he's printed out this amazing little dragon and put it there as the detail. Darwin is also the same person from the last episode that put in the championship ring, and he used the Waterslide decals for putting the NBA championship photos and stuff on there.
Photo wraps.
Mm-hmm. He wanted to put a tip that white background for the brightness, image quality. He learned from Salty Dog's photo wraps tutorial that was online, and he uses a color laser printer. In his opinion, is what works best, and he puts a couple coats of clear coat spray and allows the coats to thoroughly dry each night before applying to the rod. And this is the Toronto NBA rod that had the championship ring on it. So you can literally take pictures and put it on the rod.
Be good for memorial rods too.
Amazing for more memorial rods, yeah. Another one of Darwin Wong. So I love this one just because it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, as our youngest says.
Spider-Man, yeah. But the details that you can't achieve by hand is great whenever you were trying to carry a theme all the way from the butt to the tip, because it'd be hard pressed. There is somebody later on that actually does her own artwork and puts it on the rod. I couldn't be able to draw that, nor color it or do it. There's no way. So it is a nice little additive, especially if you got to wrap somewhere and you don't know what to put in the split section, for instance. You could put a photo. This is Garrett Honecker, and he's done the water slide where he's made the logo and then also printed out the fish. It's really hard to see because of the glare from the epoxy. But
nice epoxy work, though.
Very nice
Kudos.
epoxy works, yeah. Garrett's actually the one that sent me that cork that had the gold in it.
Which, that cork might disappear on a rod I got in mine.
No. Another one of Garrett's, so he's just done basically the specs as the water slide decal, but he's changed it up by doing different fonts and different colors and things of that nature. I think this one's probably one of my favorites because it looks like the lettering from the challenge build, the International Custom Challenge, like the rod builders. Remember how Mark Krause had it? I don't know what the rest of the logo is actually saying, but it looks like it says bourbon down at the bottom, but I don't really think that's what it says. But just once again, you can
it definitely says bourbon.
Does it say bourbon?
Yeah.
Maybe he likes bourbon. But you can definitely choose your font instead of just being limited to the straightforward text that typically comes on stuff. Glen Goss has the tilted, what is that?
I'd say it's Toke.
Toke, the Wilderness Lodge. Pretty cool little decal. Another one at Glen Goss. So this is nice that he's carried the same decal. He's put it one on the butt and then also on the ferrules to kind of continue on the matching of what that rod belongs to.
It'd be good for like company logos too.
Mm-hmm. Another one at Glenn's. So we've got a logo down at the bottom along with his actual. I'm assuming that's his Bay Custom Rods. Is who built is his business. What is that logo? Oh, that's the previous
toque.
one. The tilted toque. I don't know.
I'd have to say Toke.
Toque. Greg Bagwell coming in with the Hulk. I have to do it.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. Okay, so Jim Bowers, there's a little story behind this. So I forgot to flip this photo, but these are actually supposed to be women jumping, kind of like a party.
I was going to say, are they falling?
No, they're not falling. I just forgot to flip the photo whenever.
I thought it was an Alice build.
No, it wasn't Alice. It would be cool for Alice in Wonderland, right, to print that stuff out. Which, you know what, I'm lying because I have worked with some decals that were very similar.
I'm surprised you didn't remember that.
Well, they weren't water slide. They were actually decals. So
yeah,
I
they
guess
were little tiny stickers.
They weren't really water slide, so maybe I'm not lying. But anyways, so the reason why this rod was built was this lady is fighting breast cancer. And, you know, this is celebration of the whole situation of fighting for it. Now, what Jim also did was he included in how they looked before he put them on the rod. So this one, it says Butterworth Iron Glass Series GH17. This is actually what the decal looks before it gets stuck on the rod. So he's got a few of these that he's put together for various builds that were in their different states of getting ready to put on there so that people could see, which I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's another one, Parramatta Eels. Probably saying that wrong. He's from Australia, so there's probably an accent thrown on that I can't hit. And then this amazing one by Jim also is like the tiger, just fierce looking decal. A lot of color, adds a lot of character. Some more of Jim's. There's one that he's got the Snyder and then the Samurai on. So another one of Jim Bowers. This one that says George on it is actually, it's an Italian theme that's in honor of his son-in-law's deceased father. So he's carried that theme of like the Italian colors through the guide wraps and everything. And there's actually way down there at the bottom, you can see the Italian flag. Some more of the before they get stuck on there. This one's Tiger Fishing Tips, Hated and Proud, with really cool, I guess that's a seal.
Saber
or
tooth.
A walrus. Or a saber tooth.
I'd say a saber tooth.
I don't know. But cool looking skull.
Because it's tigers.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, saber tooth.
So a saber tooth tiger.
That would make more sense. This is, remember that one that we saw earlier? He has it on the rod. The eels one.
Yeah.
So now it's on the rod.
A little bit of marbling and thread work around it.
He stuck it on top of some, basically blue and gold. I'm assuming thread. And then he's got some marbling going on around it as well. It was kind of cool to see it go from its flat form to the actual on the rod. This is another one where he's, you know, obviously Fenwick. Can't
get those anymore.
Can't really get the logos and the stickers for them anymore. So we have to, when we come across them and we're building them for customers, we got to figure out how to do it. And he found it and made one for it. This is Jim Terliki's. Dun, dun, dun.
Another photo wrap.
So it's sailfish and it looks like a shark on this one. I think what's cool about Jim, probably one of the things that I like, other than the dude's amazing with thread in general. Every single one of his rods, the entire thing flows. He's matched all the blues and everything that's in this photo wrap with the thread that he has available too.
I just want to go to his house and lay on the brick, and so you can take a picture of me with it.
So you could be like, I laid on Jim's famous brick wall. Another one of Jim Terliki's amazing skull under this guide wrap.
I like that.
That's sick. Sick with it.
You should try water slides on the Phoenix under the guides.
What, fire?
Yeah.
Make it look like, oh, yeah.
Do some fire decals under it.
That would give me a good excuse to play with it. Because, like, after this episode, like, I kind of want to try it and just see.
Yeah.
I could suck at it, but, you know.
Any reason for Alice to spend money?
Yeah, that is more stuff to buy, right? So this one is a Doc Holliday tombstone themed. So he's got his face underneath the guide. And then he also included the bigger version of it, which, although I'm assuming...
It's Doc Holliday again.
It's Doc Holliday again, yeah. Another one of Jim's. This is like a really cool...
Mermaid?
I thought a mermaid. I can't really see the lower part of her body. I'm going to assume it because she's got all the, like, the crown with, like, the very, very scantily... Almost looks like seashells. I have problems with that word.
Seashells.
I have to really think about it. Seashells and sunshine. Sunshine. John Curtin making his own, basically saying, bear down on the rod. Another one by John Curtin again.
It's my favorite spot to see one.
On the butt cap?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's always forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Always forgotten. But a very nice place to put something. Like, just...
Nice little touch.
Yep. It's like wrapping the tip, you know? Nice little touch. Another one of John Curtin's. He's put memory of SLS with some sort of picture. I can't tell what that is. All right, Michael Ward. So Michael had a few tips to also say that he uses the Epson inkjet printer on Waterslide paper, clear. He applies the 2 coats of the gloss, clear acrylic spray, and once it's dry, he soaks it to apply to the rod, which, Mike, I'm so sorry I had to cover up your thread work, but you left me no place to put your name without covering up something. This is another one by Mike that was printed, I believe it's printed on white, and I am only assuming that because of the white outline going around it. Really cool little bird of prey.
What kind of bird is that?
Falcon? I don't know, it's green.
Looks like an eagle.
It's green, I don't know. He does a lot of sports rides, so I'm not gonna know.
I know.
Nope.
It's the Eagles.
Shut up.
No, baby, that's the Seahawks.
I tried. I really did. So this is another one that Mike did.
Oklahoma State University.
You did that one?
Yep.
Of course you did.
Look at the far right corner. It says OSU.
Oh, I didn't even
on
notice
his
that.
Chaps.
Cute mascot. He looks very angry. He does. He looks grumpy. Cowboys by Mike Ward. He did want to mention that they have clear and white background transfer paper and he gets his from Amazon. But pick whichever one makes sense with your color palette because your printer can't print white, obviously. And the colors will remain a bit translucent if you don't put it on silver or white, but the silver can darken it on the clears. So it's kind of one of those trial and error kind of things. So this is by Michael Ward again. What does it say?
Hog stickers.
Guide service.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. Really cool Florida State with like the fish. It looks really good on that silver. Going to Sharon. So Sharon Walgamot. I was very happy to see her putting in stuff tonight. This is actually the eagle that's at the top is actually from a stamp book.
Okay.
She put it on there and then marbled around the base of it.
Okay.
How fun is that? Came from a book of stamps. This is, so her husband, I believe it's Ron, is her husband, but there was a customer like 12 years ago, okay, that was asking, well, what all can you put on a rod? And he looked at her and said, well, she can put anything on a rod. And the guy requested how to do a photo, and she had no idea how to do it. She was like, he kind of got me screwed up a little bit because then I had to figure it out because he told him that I could do it. So that's a photo of a gentleman that they wanted to put on a rod.
Kind of like you mentioning putting eggs in a rod.
Yeah, I know. Mark's never going to let me live that down. So Sharon is an actual artist. She actually makes art. Like, this is one of her drawings. And she puts these drawings on her rods.
Very nice. How much?
Right? So that's at that photo we just saw on the blank.
Gotcha.
So she cuts it. She takes it. She puts it in her computer. She shrinks it down. And then she prints it out with her Canon printer. And then she started trying this about 12 years ago whenever that guy asked about the photo. All right, so Sharon again, she's done this amazing drawing of these two redfish, and that is the original, or the picture that she shrunk down, and then she's put it on the rod. I think this is probably one of the coolest things that I've seen because it's very original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not, I didn't know of anybody that was like actually drawing out their stuff and then sticking it on the rod. So I think that's a really cool way to, for her to, one, showcased her rod building skills and her artist side as well.
Right.
It's just another one. That's with the epoxy on it. Because, when you first see it, it doesn't look so glam and gorgeous. But that's with the epoxy on. Another one of her original artworks where she's drawn a
Black Panther
hanging out over the water. Like, these are just so cute and cool and really custom, you know? Like, that's her stuff. I mean, granted, she could reprint them, I guess, once she puts them in the computer, but she used the LRT printer to make that little label maker. Go Saints.
You know what I want to pronounce that as every time I see that?
What?
Go.
Right?
Not go. Go.
Yeah, my brain wants to say yucks.
Yuck Saints.
Yuck Saints. Why don't we just put Geo? That don't make no sense. Anyways, Sharon again. So she's taken another image, put it into the printer, and put it on there. And she's got marbling around it, so she's got this cool sugar skull, which obviously this is going to be one of mine that I really, really like. And then she's also got the flares, like the kind of floral effect on the top of that as well. I believe she said she drew this, if I remember correctly. Steven Mendoza. This one tripped me out because I never would have thought to use the Waterslide decal in this manner. So what he did was he wanted to replicate a spotted bay bass, and he laid the thread down first and then printed out the dot pattern and put that over top of it.
I see the thread in there now.
When you get really close to it. Like, that's really cool idea. Another one that Steve did, or Steven. Sorry, I shorten y'all's names up sometimes. Very floral, kind of like, this just screams Florida to me. I don't know why, but it's always just like
it screams 70s Florida to me.
Big palm leaves, and yeah, does it?
Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
70s, 80s Florida.
Very tropical. It's a very tropical pattern. And this is actually those basically together, but a better picture of that pattern that was from a distance. Definitely gives me some ideas for things that you can do. This is another one that Steven did. So he actually laid down Fuji, what do you call it, yellowtail thread, the super bright yellow thread, and then printed out the mahi spots and put it down over top. I think this is the first time that he tried to do it because he said it did better than he expected. So in this situation, he didn't use the white or the clear or the white or the silver for the underneath of it to make it pop. He used what the colors should have been and let it do its thing. And I think that actually turned out really cool. He had a video too where he carried it up a little bit further into the rod, but I can't put videos in here. TJ Potter. So he did this build. His 3 nephews all have autism, and they made this for their father of the picture of all his boys. And the boys' photos are actually 360 degrees around the rod, Jacob. So there's the first son, Landon, and then Thomas was the last one. He's got the heart with the autism puzzle pieces, and you put the glow thread under it, the boys, and the 360, and that's what the top of it looked, or the other part of it looked like. So that's, for anybody curious, that's actually the autism
it makes me
ribbon
wonder.
wrap that he spiraled up to do that. And the only reason I know that is because when you zoomed in on it, you could see the little line. So that's the only reason why I can say that was the ribbon wrap. But what
It just made me think of something. If you wanted absolute perfection for that grip that you did,
which one?
Instead of burning the puzzle pieces, if you could print it off in clear and then cut it and seal it and
anything can be done. Another one by TJ Potter where he's printed out. Oh, what is that? I'm supposed to know what that fish is.
Think prehistoric fish.
That's the one that Mark fishes for all the time, right?
It's a sturgeon.
Sturgeon, yeah, that's the one Mark always likes to do.
I've never. You're like, yeah, sturgeon, yeah.
Because shut up. I can see it. I know that fish. I just don't know its name. It's that fish. Looks like a dinosaur.
It's that fish.
So another one by TJ Potter.
Is this the Joker one you were talking about?
No, this is not it. We're not to that one yet.
Gotcha.
So an awesome Batman scene with the bat signal, Batman himself, and Joker. And this is obviously 360. It's wrapping all the way around. He did want to mention that a cool thing that you can do is you can also wrap untreated nylon, so thread that's no CP or anything like that, or silk over the image, and it'll give you kind of this like pixelated, kind of broken up look.
Speaking of pixelated, you know what I miss?
What?
Jimmy's Tigers.
Oh, Jimmy Shack. I miss his banter. He was a fun guy.
He was.
I actually just saw his anniversary pop up. It's been 5 years now. I remember his logo and everything. The manta ray and everything. God, I miss that dude. What do you call it? He called him his pixelated tigers, right?
Something like that, yeah.
He never could get it right. He couldn't figure out what he was doing. But he started, was like, fine, it's just going to be my signature.
That's going to be it.
So this is TJ Potter's as well. It's really hard to see, but I do believe the name is Connie. Sometimes he'll do a thread under wrap and then he'll epoxy. And since the printer can't print white, he'll inverse the colors so his pattern is white. But on the clear decal, that area will not have the image, so it lets the thread show through and it creates this faux weave. So because of how he places them on there, you see the thread coming through instead of the actual pattern, and it looks like a weave. Kind of a cool technique to take that idea and kind of tweak it a little bit, you know? And
that's fun.
Man, I don't know if it's just because it's the pink and the blue. I don't know if it's all the freaking colors. This is like one of my favorite, most vivid looking.
That's fun.
Woo! That's a brook, ain't it? Yeah, that's a brook trout. See? The only reason why I know that is because I got to burn that. Because I remember the red fins and it's got the white and the black on the tips. I got to burn it.
We need to take you trout fishing.
2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have known what that fish was. We're
not-
close to them.
We're, what? We can be in prime Western North Carolina fishing in under 3 hours.
We just haven't done it.
And we don't go as often as we should.
But this is just, I don't know if it's because of the pink and the turquoise that goes with this, but I think this one is like one of the brighter ones I've seen tonight that are just the colors I just love. And then another one by TJ Potter. What is that fish? What's the mouth?
Salmon.
It's a salmon. Okay. I don't know any of these damn freshwater fish. You would think I would know, but I don't. I know king mackerels and bluegills, and that's about it. Or bluefish, not bluegills. Haven't been fishing in ages, Wes. We need to go.
We're fixing that.
I know. We're going next month. That'll be great. Anyway, so this is just a nice, like, live action. I don't forgot what you told me that was. A salmon eating another fish. Another one by TJ Potter. Because the only reason why I don't think it's a brook trout is because the back it doesn't have the same coloring. So it might be a rainbow.
No, it could be another salmon.
But it could be another salmon. I don't freaking know. Isn't that terrible? Custom rod builders that don't know what the fish are. That's because we don't fish for them. We fish for big fish. And also some other stuff that TJ's done too.
Ooh.
He has done obviously a custom lures logo, and then he put this, it looks like a wand with like a magic thing coming out of the top of it. But he took that and he wrapped it over glow in the dark thread and printed it on the clear. So now it glows. Pretty cool. Another one by TJ Potter. I should remember this because Rick Payne just made some grips with this.
What?
The fighter jet. P-51 Mustang. That's a lot of different he did really nice laying that down. Like, I'm sitting here staring at it and like, that's a lot of individual little decals. Like, holy crap, in that one little section. Nicely done. Keeping that symmetrical. Another one by TJ Potter. This is probably a company rod or like one of those, what'd you call them? Not the giveaways, the
retirement gifts?
The retirement gifts for the companies. Thank you.
I'm telling you, that parent brain's strong tonight.
Mm-hmm. TJ Potter. Again, this is the one that he was explaining kind of the reverse where the thread comes through and he inverts the pattern so that it disappears. So it's a rodeo cowboy riding a bucking bronco. It's very dark, so it is kind of hard to see, but that is what it is. Trinity Veteran Rods. You know what this man's name is? John. He was like, I heard in the last podcast you didn't know what my name was, so my name's John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. So we're not calling you Veteran Rods the entire time. The two that we're going to see is for his latest VFW donation rods that he did for auction. And really, it kind of sucks because the water slide here is turned, so I can't even really tell what it is, although it has some American flag colors to it.
And flame effect.
Yeah. And then this is the other one where he's put the VFW on it. The Joker. Dun, 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 dun. This is by Trey. But look at the Joker on that.
That's a good picture.
That's an awesome picture. How detailed is that? And that's on an ice rod handle. Some more of his. So I think the last 20 photos are actually going to be his, or 20 something. I think he almost put in 30 photos. So this is for the Vikings. And if you pay attention in the little split area right there, there's all the different decals for the Vikings and also
in the butt.
in the butt. Yep. They're in the butt as well. He's got custom in the butt and in the split. Split butt. Again by Troy. Another awesome thing to think about, putting pets, memorial rods for pets. Like, that's a cute photo of an older dog and like the white of the whiskers. And I don't know what the purple, pink, and clear one is. I know it's the Scooby-Doo's gang because I can see Velma, Fred, and Scooby, but I don't know what it says.
I don't know.
Probably the gang. Something about the gang, because they always talk about getting the gang together. I don't know. Red, white, and blue. EB little decal. So Troy does a lot of, on the photos that he presented tonight, it was a lot of beer and alcohol, like replicas and stuff. This one's a really nice American flag with it looking like it's waving. For instance, he's done the special lager beer. This is the original, the old school Pabst beer, blue ribbon logo, or the text that they used to use. And he's got a Budweiser and the red, white, and blue. I guess that's Pabst. A beer. Oh, it's the Pabst. Is that the old logo of the red, white, and beer? Oh,
red, white, and beer.
Red, white, and blue. I didn't realize Pabst did that. And I don't know what the black one is because I can't tell what it is.
Looks like some type of Hawkeye's build.
Then another one, a premium American lager. I mean, these look just like the cans, you know? It's Stitch. Look at Stitch.
Oh.
Hey, it's Stitch. Like, to be honest, Stitch would be a booger to weave for me.
Yeah, just a little.
For anybody else that does weaving all the time, they'd be like, oh, yeah, no big deal. But for me, I don't think I want to sit there for 80 hours doing Stitch. I'd rather print it. Because there's other things I want to spend my time on. But Stitch is cute. Captain Morgan's.
He's got a little captain in the butt.
Yes, he does. It's not the butt. It's the split.
It's the butt of the rod.
It is. It's near the butt of the rod.
It's always near the butt.
Oh, my God. Old number 7 brand.
What is that?
I don't know. What is it?
You drink whiskey and you don't know what old number 7 is?
I never said I was a connoisseur, nor was I educated.
Jack.
Is it Jack? Really? I didn't know that. I don't drink Jack that often anyways.
I know you drink Jim.
No, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. I drink the Devil's Cut brand because it's stout and mixes well.
Oh, my Lanta.
Shut up. He did the San Francisco 49ers. And this is a whole lot. What is it? 3, 6, 9, 11? 11 rods, I believe, really quickly counting. This appears to be probably a set for a family, if I was going to guess. But this is a gentleman that has caught it. He's holding a fish up.
I'm glad you zoomed in and explained that because my initial thought was Waterboy.
No, it's not. I don't think it's Waterboy. No,
it's definitely a gentleman.
It's definitely a gentleman holding a fish, not Waterboy. Although, speaking of Adam Sandler, I saw the reel today where he was on the golf course and he was being happy again. And he was like, I haven't done this in 25 years. Let's see if I've got it. And I didn't realize that Adam Sandler was legitimately swinging during that movie.
Yeah.
And knocking them things out. He hit that ball with the sound effect and everything. Just whoop.
Yeah.
Gone. And what? Oh man, that's the name. I just lost the name thinking about it. But he was like, he goes, "This one's for you." It was the guy that he was always playing against.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name now, but he.
Parent Brain.
Troy again coming in with Bush Light, so he is making the handles and has them on the butt. And that one over there, I can't tell. It looks.
It's Vikings.
Vikings, okay.
It's Vikings.
Like it literally looks like the beer can. Like I would expect to be able to pop the top and drink it. Seahawks. It's the Seahawks.
Good job.
I got it right because it says it.
Lord of mercy.
I think I edited that part out of the other episode.
Probably.
Though, so nobody's going to understand the inside joke. But last time,
if they watch the live, they will.
If they watch the live, they would understand. That's for sure.
Benefits of watching our live show.
Mm-hmm. But he's put the Seahawks logo on the handle, and then down here,
looks like another Seahawks logo.
Probably. So this kid has caught this deer, or not caught this deer.
Shot this deer.
He has shot this buck. Let's use the appropriate terms. And they have taken this exact photo and they have put it on the handle of this rod.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Like, pretty cool.
Who needs photo storage? We can put it on a rod for you.
Right? You don't need to have a photo album. We'll just make rods for you. I mean, look how, it darkened a little bit, but like, how cool is that?
Colors, yeah, but it's straight up the photo.
It's the photo. One of your favorite drinks, Dr. Pepper. But it's kind of cute to be able to put I mean, like Dr. Pepper logo on your handle. Like, that's fun.
Does look like a little can, though.
Yeah, it does. It literally looks like a little can. Another Vikings rod again. I'll at least know the Vikings by the end of this episode. Will. But mixed in with the acrylic, like, this is kind of cool. You know?
How it all ties together.
Everything just, like, seamlessly ties together. And I'm not saying his name over and over again, because all these photos are Troy. We're ending with Troy. So every bit of these are Troy's.
What's this logo?
I don't know.
Well, read the name and look at the picture.
Milwaukee Champions. I don't know.
No. What's on the rod? Milwaukee. And what is that?
It's a deer.
Okay. What's another name for a deer?
Elks.
Bucks.
Okay. The Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks? What did I say? Milwaukee? The hell was that?
I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Are you trying to educate me?
I'm trying, guys.
You do realize it's going to go in one ear, not the other, because Alice doesn't have room for NBA or salt. Like, there's no sports room in her head unless she has to do it. The Bengals, I know that logo because I had to build it. And I'm actually read up on the Bengals a little bit, but I couldn't tell you any facts right now, so don't ask me. I just know who I built, what I built it for. And that people apparently don't like him. But anyways.
What position was the player?
He's quarterback.
Good job.
Yep, I know. I got it. I read up on it enough to know a little few simple answers.
I'll help her out. This is a Milwaukee Brewers version.
Thank you. I like the font of the M. Is that their part of their logo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I could have looked up there and said Brewers, right? Dun, dun, dun. I think that's the one that we saw in that other photo.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? The Hawkeyes?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. He does a lot of like the beer cans and stuff. But
they had a Busch Light apple?
I guess.
What?
I guess. I don't know.
Busch Latte.
I don't drink it, so I have no idea. I used to drink Bud Light, but I stopped that a long time ago.
Yeah, once we started like dating,
I was done with it.
You were done with beer.
Yeah. Well, no, the only one that I would drink would be the one you introduced me to from Margaritaville. Loaded Land Shark. It was coming. I got it before you load. I said loaded before you said, but that would be the only one that I would drink. I'm just not a beer fanatic anymore. Well, beer was cheap.
I don't consider Loaded Land Shark to be a beer.
Well, it's a mixed drink.
you chug it down to the bottom of the neck and then you fill it back up with tequila. So
that's probably why I liked it. Another Pabst Blue Ribbon logo. He makes a lot of rods with just alcohol themes.
So what I'm gathering from this is while people are ice fishing, there's a lot of beer involved.
You know what? I would be drinking beer if I was sitting in that freezing little hut. I know they've got all this like fancy stuff to keep them warm and they're okay, but like they're all sitting on ice in their little chairs and stuff. Like
they are a beer.
They're drinking beer. What did I say? They are a beer.
They are a beer. They're sitting on ice.
Yep. Keeping it chilled. I'd be drinking beer too, or I'd be drinking beer instead of liquor because you'd be drunk way too fast. But beer will keep you warm.
Hour in and like, all right, where are we going?
I'm getting out of here. Look at this one. He's got the actual can.
That's awesome.
Budweiser can with the handle matching with the rill. These people are serious about their beer up there, and I'm loving it. Like, it's such a cool photo. It's like a little mini can. If he had made the ends of these like handles like a gray or a silver material,
or make them hollow.
Could you pour beer into it? How funny would that be? Put a little cavity and like a little straw. Refill it. I'm gonna drink it on my rod. Hey, Minnesota Wild.
Yep.
Once again, handles in the butt. Handle in the butt. Your mind.
Every time.
Your mind.
Every time.
We're almost to the end of this, guy. So, The Joker by Troy again. This is a cool one because I like this one because it's got the card suits in it along with like the face. It's just a different play on how like the Joker gets played out. And he also put the why so serious. And then our very last photo of the night is this little dude. Hams.
Yep.
Is that a bear?
I would assume so.
Black
I don't have a tail,
bear.
so it's not a skunk.
It's a black and white bear. But that is our last photo. And we're back. And we're awake. So many different options to be able to add details or pictures or customize it. Obviously, you can just about anything that you could print, you literally can put on the rod in somewhere. whether it's under the guides. We had examples of that on the butts, the handles, in the splits, and the foregrip. And, you know, I will point out that one in particular, TJ's, a gift to the father for the 3 nephews. I'm going to call it celebrating that they have autism. And it just being a really, like,
meaningful
gift, a meaningful rod. It's no longer just a fishing rod, you know, like that's a treasured item. So these Sharon's, where she had that gentleman in the photo, that could have been a grandfather that passed. I don't know the backstory on it. That one pet, that was, I think Troy had it, where he had the pet on the handle. Great ways to remember anybody that has passed or that they love dearly, best friends, you know, fishing situations, like any of this stuff, you know. So water slides are kind of cool. I just personally haven't had any
requests.
Not necessarily requests, because I mean, there's a lot of times people come to me and they go, "Hey, can you do stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah," you know, and I try to figure out how to do it in the skill set that I know. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to do weeds, I know how to do wraps, I know how to do some grips and stuff like that. Don't ask me about tigers. Don't ask me about, I do know how to do a dragon scale now, and finally figured out a way to get along with metallic. So that's one thing. That's a plus. It's a growth from Mary 12 years ago. But I haven't ever tried to print out decals. I never really had a reason to look into it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, a decal was either the logo or the specs. And then I started seeing people like Jim putting out the photo wraps and going, how are you doing that? And never really looked into it further. Well, apparently there's something online that you can look up by Bill Havens and learn how to do it for his online tutorial. And if any of you are lucky enough to have the rod crafter that he wrote that information into, there you go. But
we'll have to look it up and see if we have it too.
A little bit of Google work, you can actually find Waterslide Decals. Quite a few YouTube videos that rod builders have actually shared how they're doing it too. So YouTube is your friend. Could be your foe too.
It's our friend too. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Hey.
We're trying to reach 1,000 followers.
Nice segue there. But guess what time it is? A product of the night it's actually Jim Crowley's signature series.
There's 3 different models. A 7.4 medium heavy for bladed jigs that comes with the new moving bait series blank. Then there's a 6.8 medium jerk bait and the 6.6 medium light Ned rig. Now all of these, he's got a write-up on them. He uses these 3 for multiple purposes. The 6.8 he uses actually for lighter inshore and some top water. The 6.6 Ned rig he uses for other things other than just a Ned rig. But the 7.4 he uses that specifically for bladed jigs because the blank itself allows you to truly feel when that blade stops vibrating.
So it's actually really cool because I mean, Jim Crowley's, I've met with him 2 years. I've known him for 2 years now. Met him the first time at ICAST. I was about to say Thread Central. Met him the first time at ICAST, and I interviewed with him, or I talked to him, and then like all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I'm on a live video with him, and he's like,
for his podcast, yeah.
For his just doing live video on his business page, but he does a ton of TV stuff, and he's got a YouTube channel which is Jim Crowley Outdoors. Show. And then I got interviewed on his podcast as well. So it was just crazy, just how everything spiraled. So he's a really good guy. He's got some great information that he puts out there. I know in his TikTok videos, I don't remember if he shares all that stuff to his YouTube page or not. But
I don't remember.
He's always giving pointers about how like he does his bass fishing and like what stuff he's using and what is working, what isn't working. And it's just really nice to be able to see that kind of refreshing point of view. So him having a signature series put up on Mudhole was actually kind of cool to be able to see him getting recognized. Plus, I think there's 3 or 4 other signature kits by other different.
No, if you actually go into the rod kits.
No, I'm saying the signature kits, not the rod kits.
There's
the signature.
There's
only like 4 or 5 because there's only a few people that
some of their top bass guys have some. Chris has some. Jake has some. Hunter has some. Jim Crowley. There's 5 or 6 different signature kits that they've done.
That's what I said.
You said 3 or 4 originally.
Okay, fine. A couple of different numbers. But anyways, there's some signature kits to check out. Especially if you're not familiar with like the setups and stuff. It'd be nice to just kind of like just trust the pros and put it together and then start tweaking it from there, kind of thing. Thank you to our sponsors, Foundation Outdoor Group. I actually do want to put out there, Foundation was able to donate over $4,000 to the CCA because of the event that they held at SoCal.
Southern California.
So it was actually, Decorative Studio contributed my entire school and like as a gift. But everybody that contributed that night was able to, you know, people were paying for the tickets and they raised enough money that they could actually put back into the Coastal Conservation Association and gave them over $4,000. So it's actually really cool to be a part of being able to teach and also having them also dump money back into things that matter, in my opinion. So I just kind of want to throw that out there.
Good job on not stuttering through Coastal Conservation Association.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
I'm proud of you.
The CCA. That's usually what I call them when I'm like, because my mouth does not keep up as fast as the brain does in any way, shape, or form.
No, it doesn't. We appreciate every one of you for watching, tuning in. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe to all of our social media platforms. In particular, we need some assistance on YouTube. Trying to get to 1,000 followers so that we can take this live, the lives of all the lathe work, all the rod building, and actually put it on YouTube as well and do it live.
Got a lot of plans for YouTube once I do get to that 1,000 subscriber
And
thing.
we're only like 30 away.
We have 973 now.
Okay, 27 away. Come on.
We're very close, which,
But-
you know, I'm pretty proud that everything has been organic. Although over the last week, sometime in the last few days, I reached out and was like, hey, can y'all help me reach the goal? And we picked up like 73 people, which was kind of cool. But
Yep. But every social media is under The Decorative Studio.
I mean, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm not on anything else other than that.
No tweets.
I don't
no
have enough
Twitch.
I don't have enough time for it. I barely have enough time for the stuff that I'm involved with. But TikTok, I try to do most of the reels and stuff that I do put out is usually for educational purposes or just bringing you along on the journey. The actual YouTube page itself is, some of it's a little bit of that kind of like journey, depending on if people have asked to watch for it. But most of the content that's going on there is just educational purposes. I think some of my older videos might have been just like me doing a rap or something back when I was doing the sugar skull, the yellow sugar skull. But I have just now, over the past 3 weeks, finally gotten the kaleidoscope grip put together and edited and put out on YouTube, so you can actually like go through this. There are 30-minute videos because there's so much information that I'm telling you and showing you, and also I show you the screw ups, you know, and the pros and cons, because I don't want to hide behind pretending I'm amazing. Okay, like this is stuff that happens. This is stuff I forget. You know, forget to account for the kerf. I don't do it that way because I don't do math. Everybody knows Mary doesn't do math. So it's really hard for me to like sit here and tell you measurements and stuff. So I actually show you in real time how to do it. So the 3 segments are 30 minutes long a piece, roughly, a little bit here and there. But within an hour and a half, you can have a grip. You know, you would understand, oh, this is how to do it. So I plan to put that kind of more content out there on YouTube. So it is straight just educational purposes only. So that's the reason why we're kind of begging and pleading, hey, please subscribe, just so we can help more people, reach more people, and also start to do the lives and stuff like that, because then we can go live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time when we do this show and help more people and get more questions answered and stuff like that. So anyways, but thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for, hopefully you learned a little bit of how to do the Waterslide decals, just reading over the stuff whenever people were posting it and then discussing it tonight. I feel like I actually could start to print some stuff out and try to figure it out once I buy some actual paper that's made for it. So kind of like Wes's idea of trying to put flames underneath my guide drops for the Phoenix just to see what happens. So I may play around with that and some of my personal projects. So if it gets screwed up, it's not that big of a deal. But hopefully you guys learned something. And don't forget to check out Bill Haven's photo wraps tutorial that's somewhere online. I'll have to find it and let everybody know where it is. But it is out there. And there is a tutorial by the man who figured it out himself. So I like to pay respect to people that started to pave the paths for the way that this stuff is done. And thanks, Jim, for bringing that to our attention, that Bill Havens is actually one that kind of started this trend, if you will. But thank you, and we will talk later. Bye!